What do you see?
Alright guys, listen up. Realistically, why the hell am I making this video? Hello everyone and welcome back to GameTalk, where we talk about games new and old, and after CTR Nitro Field, I wanted to cover another kart racer, but one that's lesser known and on the obscure side of things. The main one that came up was Toy Story Racer on PS1, and that's great because I love the PS1, and I wanted to cover that because I've never played it before. But then I thought, hold on a second, Garfield Kart, that's a weird one. Let's remake it and call it Fat Cat Racing Lasagna Fueled. Ah yes, Garfield Kart. I mean, I've made many remarks to it in the past and it is quite a spicy meme, but why is that? Well, the fact that this even exists boggles my mind. The kart racing genre, while one of my favorite gaming genres, can be one of the weirdest at times. You've got ones that are well respected and known like Crash Team Racing and of course Mario Kart, to some lesser renowned but still well known ones like Team Sonic Racing and Diddy Kong Racing. Then it starts getting obscure with ones like Toy Story Racer and Looney Tunes Racing. But then there's Garfield Kart, and don't even get me started on Rascal Racers. I'd rather drink a bleach Windex and broken glass smoothie than play that. Ever since the original Super Mario Kart, obviously there have been IPs leeching off that success, and most of the time they work. Crash Team Racing had a trilogy of platformers before that, so most people who played it can enjoy racing as the villains and the good characters they know and love in the environments they know and love. And even for something like Toy Story Racer, you know the characters from the movies that are now implemented with their personalities in a racing game, and theoretically, they work because of that. But never did I expect a kart racer to come out of a series of newspaper comic strips about a fat cat that likes Lasaga. And I know it's become more than that nowadays, but seriously? Garfield? Garfleaf? Garfellow? Garfunel? Okay, I'll stop. I didn't even know what to expect with this game, as I could barely find any information about it, other than it's also on the 3DS, and I've never heard of these developers before. The only information I gathered is that pretty much every review I found for the game was negative. Outside of Steam. Steam reviews make it seem like this game was sent from the fucking heavens and was crafted by God himself. Well, let's just have a look at some recommended reviews. Garf. Yep, very informative, mate. I like it when the car go vroom and seeing a funny looking cat go meow. Oh lord. My wife has undivorced me. What does that have to do with this game? 102 people found this review helpful. What are they helping? Lasagna. His picture is Hagrid from the PS1 Harry Potter game. Okay, that's enough. And this is an issue. I don't know how seriously to take this game as it's such a meme. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you might want to brace yourself as we're going in dark with this one. And I better watch what I say because the meme community will be all over my ass like Keemstar back in 2016.
Why am I still here?
Well, the fact that Garfield Kart is $7 Australian on Steam scares me. Hell, I'm more scared now than I was going into the Resident Evil 2 remake. Alrighty, Garfield Kart. Today we find out why this game is a meme, if it's any good, and what Garfield is doing on my Xbox. Okay, so let me just launch it and, what? I don't know which one to choose. Do I open Garfield Kart or Garfield Kart? I don't feel comfortable. I need an adult! Okay, I'm just gonna launch the first one. Okay, nope, wrong one. Shit. There we go. Ah, a config menu. Oh no, was this made in the Unity engine? Bro, I'm getting flashbacks to the Slenderman days. Alrighty, well, decent enough looking menu, but my controller isn't working. Odd. Alright, mouse it is then. My name? Garfield. Perfect. What? The game fucking crashed. Wonderful start. Now it's working. Let's do a race, shall we? Cats in the Hood. Is this the Grove Street of the Garfield universe? Okay, what? The controller's working now. Alright, the gameplay. I mean, it's alright, I think. It's not terrible. I don't know, what do I say so I don't piss off the meme community? It works in the same way as any modern Mario Kart, where you skid and charge up a boost. When you let go of the skid button, you'll boost, and the speed which you obtain will be determined by the amount of time spent skidding. The feel of the gameplay is definitely better than I expected, but while it's very easy to grasp, and obviously if you played Mario Kart, it's pretty damn easy, the thing is, it feels off. Not terrible or anything, but it's just not slidey and slippy like CTR, and not smooth and satisfying like Mario Kart. It feels stiffer than my shit, and like they tried to replicate Mario Kart's formula, but they felt fell short. I gotta admit, I'm having trouble trying to explain it, but the gameplay formula works and it has the same style of gameplay as Mario Kart. A no-holds-barred racer where there is no teaming up, you can use power-ups to slow down your opponents, and the ultimate goal really isn't anything besides coming first. Grand Prix are the same, where each player will get a certain amount of points depending on their position. After 4 races on different tracks, the player with the most points wins. Winning Grand Prix will unlock other characters and other Grand Prix to compete in. There are coins to collect throughout the tracks, which I never gathered what they actually do. Either they add up to your in-game currency, or take the traditional kart racer approach, as the more you have, you'll have a slight increase in speed. Something I don't like is the starting line boost. It's not similar to Mario Kart, not in the slightest. You have to use your in-game currency earned from completing races to purchase boosts that you can use at the starting line. What? No manual way to get a good start. No effort whatsoever. You just use the in-game currency for the game to do it for you. Hey, if this game gets any more popular, they'll probably start introducing microtransactions. Imagine saying Garfield Kart, 2,500 coin pack on the front page of Steam. Another feature which I don't like is the lack of trick jumps. You can't make a jump off a high ledge to boost upon landing, making the game feel a lot slower paced. With this, there aren't a lot of cool ideas with the tracks and the awesome jumps with it. You can also tell this game isn't optimized for controller use. As I said before, the controller doesn't work in menus. This really bugs me because you have to constantly switch from controller to mouse in between races, and this does get really tedious. And sometimes the game can be a bit buggy. Sometimes the controller will stay connected, but the game won't respond to your inputs, and this doesn't happen too often, but really breaks away from the gameplay when it does. And sometimes the game can be a bit buggy with collision detection. Speaking of buggy, on this track I got hit with a UFO, and as I recovered, I couldn't move. The overall gameplay isn't fast or isn't satisfying at all, which brings up the thought, why the hell am I playing this when I could be playing any Mario Kart game or Crash Team Racing? Other than, this game is the best game ever made, of course. In terms of power-ups, while some are equivalents of other kart racer power-ups, some I actually like. First is an apple pie, which is your green shell equivalent. An antenna pie, which acts like the apple pie but is homing like the red shell. The spring, which will allow you to jump higher than usual. This can be used not only to avoid obstacles, but some shortcuts are restricted to spring use only. Then you have Lasaga, which will give you a boost. Perfume, which, oh shit, yeah, I don't know why Perfume makes tribal music. A wand that replaces positions with another kart when hitting them. I really like that. Then you have, oh shit, Oxide, what are you doing here? These UFOs act as the blue shell but with a twist. It will go ahead of first place and remain still. One of the UFOs, however, will be friendly and they will disappear when driving through it. The 2 others will be traps. And traps again. A cushion that acts as the lightning equivalent and will slow down all the other races on the track. A Kloppman diamond. Yeah, that's what it's called. What's it supposed to be? A diamond made by the man of Klopp? These actually act in the same way as the TNT does from CTR. Once you get it on yourself, a few jumps will allow you to get rid of it. Honestly, there are absolutely nothing wrong with the power-ups and they work well. All are balanced, and while some don't make much sense, at their core they work. It sucks that there wasn't a Mega Mushroom equivalent to make Garfield a thicker cat, but I got all my thickness needs in Papu Papu. Now in terms of tracks, there's 16. Well, I wasn't expecting a lot, but yeah, this game was made in 2013, and a game like Mario Kart Wii, which was made many years before that, has double the tracks. Even the original CTR has 18 tracks and an adventure mode to compensate for that, and that was made in the late 90s. And no, Garfield Kart does not have an adventure mode. What would the story even be? Maybe this was another planet that Nitrous Oxide visited, and if he beat their best driver, he'll turn the planet into Lasaga. This is one of the reasons why Garfield Kart becomes really boring really quickly. The content is majorly lacking. The tracks themselves, though, aren't actually terrible. I don't recognize any of them, but you know what? As kart racer tracks, they work. And while I much prefer the tracks for other kart racers, this is still alright. There are many shortcuts to find, especially with the spring power-up, but there aren't much cool jumps or anything, which does suck. And the amount of turbo pads around are definitely lacking. The tracks feel very uninspired. There's nothing really cool about them, and there's not a lot of them. But what about characters? I mean, you start off with only Garfield and John. Damn, and I thought CTR's 8 that you start off with was pretty small. But guess how much characters there are in total? Well, 8. Honestly, for a game on PC and 3DS, 8 is absolutely pathetic. Mario Kart Super Circuit on the Game Boy Advance had 8, but it still had more tracks than Garfield Kart. And how are you supposed to add more characters? There aren't a lot in Garfield, which from the start this would have been an issue. All these characters barely make a difference to the stats as well, and the gameplay of all of them are exactly the same. There's no variety, and even with the in-game voice lines, there's 2 for each character, and they don't even say anything, they just do a shit laugh. Like, Garfield actually has a lot of personality to him, and he could taunt the other racers really well. For an example, overtaking John, he could say something like, "Hey John, get your ass into the scullery and produce me some Lasaga." This game lacks personality, and that is terrible for kart racers. There's just no way to like a specific character more than another, because all of them I would say are pretty much identical. There is a kart modding feature though, which can change up the stats of the kart in any way you like it. You get parts from winning races and completing challenges. Yay, I get a spoiler! Now this would be a cool feature if, 1, this stuff wasn't so expensive and required me to play the game so much, much, and 2, if they didn't do fuck all. Honestly, no matter how you modify your cart, it feels exactly the same. The only different thing is the hats, which when you equip it, it upgrades certain power-ups. Once again, there's just no variety. Like, imagine going into an all-you-can-eat buffet and the only thing they're serving is mac and cheese. Actually, that doesn't sound too bad. I know there hasn't been a lot of positives about this game. It's either been bad or mediocre. Or, you know, because it's a meme, I've just been taking the piss with it. But honestly, there are some small things that I find pretty good. First off is the visuals. Obviously, they aren't the best graphics in the world, but you know what? They're alright. And they're actually based off the Garfield show that aired from 2009 to 2016. These visuals suit the nature of Garfield, and what much more could you ask for? Even the environments around the tracks are detailed and aren't too bad. The soundtrack as well. Yeah, it's actually not terrible. It's alright. Once again, it suits the game and the visual style. And again, actually uses the tracks used in the Garfield show, and honestly, it's pretty solid. It's not better than CTR and Mario Kart, but yeah, it's not bad. Like ham and cheese sandwiches. But what I don't like is some tracks use the same soundtracks as others. It works for other games where similar looking levels have the same song but are spaced out, but doesn't really work for a kart racer. But you know what else doesn't really work for a kart racer? Fucking Garfield. Okay, how the hell do I end off this video? Let me tell you right now, Garfield Kart was one hell of an experience, and honestly, I expected a lot worse. As a kart racer, technically the game works and isn't too bad, but the overall content this game provides is terrible. Plus the fact that the racing isn't satisfying at all and it gets boring after like 2 Grand Prix just adds fuel to the fire. If I had to sum up this game in one sentence, I'll turn it into a question. Why the hell would you play Garfield Kart where there are better alternatives out there? And these alternatives don't just play better, but has way more content, unlockables, side modes, and more characters you recognize better from the other IPs. The only game modes this game has is the single race, Grand Prix, and time trial. I mean, there are these puzzle pieces to find around the tracks to unlock pictures in the gallery, but do you think anyone is bothered to find them? God, no. There is an online mode in beta, but do you think you're gonna find a lobby? You know what? I wouldn't put it past you. You probably will. This game is just why? Why does this game exist? Who thought this was a good idea? Did they really think they could compete with Nintendo or anyone else? If so, I want whatever they were smoking at the time they thought that, because it sounds awesome. Nevertheless though, Garfield Kart makes the bad list and gets a 2.5 out of 10. And like I said, it actually turned out better than I was expecting. And even though I don't think this game is very good, I still consider the game to be a success. The game is shit, but honestly, with the response from the internet and the fact that this now is a meme, I bet they made profit from that alone. So all I have to say to that is, congratulations, Artefacts Studios, whoever you are, you made a meme. As a game, it's not very good, but as a meme, it's pretty damn solid. Now to end off this episode of Game Talk, I'm gonna leave you with a poem. Roses are red, Garfield Kart. We're going back to the PS1 for the next Game Talk episode, you mutt. I hope you all enjoyed this Game Talk episode on Garfield Kart. What a game this is. Thank you for watching to the end. For all you PS1 lovers like myself, the next Game Talk episode will feature a PS1 game, so subscribe with those notifications turned on so you don't miss it. Don't forget to help the channel out if you wish by leaving a like and sharing the video around. Thank you all so much once again, and I'll talk to you before you know it. See you later.